To begin our practice today, we're going to start in child's pose. For child's pose, your knees come about as wide as your mat, toes touch behind you, sit your hips back on your heels, and begin to walk your hands forward out in front of you. You want your arms to stretch out long in front, and just let your head and neck relax down towards your mat. In yoga, we take a lot of awareness to our breath. So as you're in your child's pose, let's practice our breath in and out through the nose, and the nose only for our practice. Deep inhale in through the nostrils. Let your breath fill your belly full. And as you exhale, fully release that breath from your nose, just as smooth as it came in. Deep breath, fill your belly with your breath. And exhale out through the nose. Good, let's keep that going. Deep breath in through your nose, fill your belly, let your arms stretch out long. And exhale, fully release through the nose. Really just set this breath for our practice. So we'll be breathing in and out through the nose and the nose only as we move through these poses. This allows us to deepen into our stretches and get our body into that relaxed state of mind and that recovery state. Good, let's take another full round of breath here. Deep inhale in. And deep exhale out. On your next inhale, tense your fingers. Make them like spiders at the top of your mat. Lift through your elbows. And begin to walk your hands over to the right, just slightly over to the right, out past that outer right edge of your mat. Feel your hips press back, so you'll feel a nice stretch through that left side waist. Good, next inhale, let's walk those hands back through center, reach them long. And exhale, just slightly crawl those hands over to the left. Feel your right hip press down towards your right heel. Really emphasize that stretch through the right side of your waist. Beautiful. Inhale, let's come back through center. Reach those arms out, long stretch. And just relax those elbows back down to the earth. On your next inhale, gently shift forward. Come into tabletop position. In our tabletop, hips are aligned directly over your knees. Shoulders are over your wrists. And take a look at your hands. Make them like starfish on your mat as you plant down through those palms. Now let's begin to move through our cat-cow breathing. Inhale, let your shoulders roll down and away as you tilt your tailbone up towards the sky. Look up high, cow pose. Use your exhale to curl back up and in. Press the mat away as you arch your spine and look between your thighs, cat pose. Good, inhale, back through cow, shoulders back, tailbone high, look up. And exhale, curl back up and in, tuck your chin. Beautiful, inhale, one more time like that, shoulders back, tailbone high, cow pose. And then exhale, curl back up and in, tuck your chin, look between the thighs. Nice. Let's move back through a neutral spine. Look down at your hands. Spread those fingers wide. Really make sure you're grounded through your palms. Let's tuck our toes behind us. Send your hips back towards your heels. You'll feel a nice stretch through the arches up your feet. Now gaze between your thumbs. Let your shoulders roll down and away. And let's lift up off the mat. So you're coming into a crouch-like position. Pull up and in through your core. Take an inhale in. Now as you exhale, begin to lengthen your legs up towards the sky. Lift your hips high. Come into your first downward facing dog. So in downward dog, let's start with those hands. Ground down through your palms. Spread your fingers wide. Let your shoulders relax away from your ears. As you lift through your hips, feel your ribs pull in towards your spine. Your hips are the highest point on your mat. And just begin to feel a nice pull through the backs of the legs. Now it's totally fine if your heels are lifted off the mat and your knees are slightly bent. This is still downward dog if you're lifting those hips high to the sky. You should just feel that nice pull through the backs of the legs. So as you're here, to get comfortable into this downward dog, you can begin to bend one knee and maybe the other and just kind of work into this pose. You'll feel a nice deep stretch through those hamstrings and shoulders. You can even shake your head out, yes and no, and just let it go. Good. Take a few more breaths here. Let this feel good. And then we'll settle into our downward dog. Take a big inhale in through your nose. Feel your hips lift high, maybe even come up onto your tippy toes. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Begin to tiptoe all the way up until you come up to the top of your mat. Feet will come all the way up between your wrists. Bend your knees a lot here. So you want your feet hips width distance. Grab a hold of opposite elbows, ragdoll arms. Just relax your head and neck in that window that you've created with the arms. As you're here, let your torso really hang on over the thighs. So as your knees are deeply bending, you're allowing the low back to decompress here. If it feels good here, you can even sway side to side and allow the side waist to open up. You'll feel a nice stretch through the rib cage, through the side waist. Let your head and neck really relax down. And just let this feel heavy through the spine. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. As you release your hands down to your mat, keep your knees deeply bent. Tuck your chin towards your chest and just begin to unravel your spine. Slowly come all the way up. Chin tucks towards your chest. Let your shoulders shrug up towards your ears. And open down your back. Palms face forward. So inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, extend up high, maybe even look up between your fingertips. And then as you exhale, take your right arm down by your side, reach over to the right. Roll your left shoulder back so you can look up towards the sky. Good, inhale, reach your arms back up high, look up, mountain pose. Exhale, sideways stretch to the left. Left arm down, reach over to the left. Roll your right shoulder back, look up towards the sky. Inhale, reach those arms back up, mountain pose. Now as you exhale, bend your elbows, drop your head back. Baby back bend, lift through your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, reach those arms back up to the sky. Now listen, exhale, soften your knees. Begin to swan dive forward all the way down towards your toes. Keep those knees soft. So inhale, lengthen up, halfway lift. And then as you exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back into a high plank. So step your feet back into a high plank pose. This is just like an upward push-up where your wrists are right underneath your shoulders. Keep your hips in line with your shoulders as you pull your low belly in, knit your ribs towards your spine. Look down between your thumbs, engage your core, deep breath in. Good, and then exhale, let's lower our knees down. Just begin to crawl your hands forward, melt your heart down towards the ground. This is called puppy dog pose. Gaze forward as your heart melts down. Really let those shoulders roll down and away from your ears. Open your heart towards your mat. Now as you inhale, let's slide forward as we slide our knees back. Come onto your forearms for Sphinx pose. So your elbows are just slightly in front of your shoulders. Forearms are down on the earth. Ground through your palms. Take an inhale, lift through your heart, shoulders back. Create some traction with those forearms. Good. You should feel a nice opening through the chest. Now as you exhale, lower your heart down. Tense your hands to the outside of your mat. Elbows are high and outside. As you inhale, begin to roll your shoulders side to side. Let this feel good. You might hear some crackles and pops in those shoulders, and that's okay. You're really getting some nice mobility through your shoulders here. Now you can come up high or even stay low as you twist and dip your shoulders side to side. You'll feel a nice opening through the thoracic spine. Good. Let's come back through center. Take our hands right under the shoulders. Point your elbows back. Take an inhale. Just lift slightly up off your mat. Use your spine to lift your heart. Shoulders back. Gaze is slightly out in front of your mat. Good. Nice job, yogis. Let's take those toes. Tuck them behind you. Press your hips back towards your heels. Ground through those palms. And begin to lift your hips back towards the sky for your downward facing dog. One full round of breath in. And a full round of breath out. Bend your knees. Look to the top of your mat. And just step those feet all the way up to the top. We're going to move a little bit more with our breath. So inhale, lengthen just halfway lift with a flat spine. Graze your shins or even your thighs. Exhale, softly forward fold. Bend your knees, tuck your chin. Begin to unravel your spine. Come all the way up to standing. Take your time. Let your shoulders shrug up towards your ears. And open them down your back. Inhale your arms to the sky, reach up high. Exhale, sideways stretch to the right, reach over, roll that left shoulder back. Inhale, arms to the sky, mountain pose. Exhale, sideways stretch to the left, roll that right shoulder back. Inhale, arms to the sky, look up. Exhale, baby back bend. Bend those elbows, lift through your heart. Inhale, reach your arms high, extend. Exhale, soften your knees, swan dive forward. Come all the way down to the toes, relax your head and neck. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift flat spine. Exhale, plant your palms. Step your feet back, high plank pose. Take one inhale breath in. And as you exhale, lower your knees. Walk your hands forward, puppy dog pose. Melt your heart down. Inhale for Sphinx pose. Shift onto your forearms. Slide your knees back. Pull your chest through, shoulders back, lift. And then exhale, lower your heart, tense your hands to the outside of your mat, and just begin to shoulder shrug side to side. You can even work into the quads here by bending one knee, look back, and bend the opposite knee, look back. Get a deep stretch through the front side of your body. Lower your heart down, hands right under those shoulders. Inhale for cobra pose. Those elbows point back, lift through your heart. Level your chin with the earth. Good, nice job. Tuck your toes. Take your hips back to your heels. Lift your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Full round of breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Now as you inhale, three-legged dog. Lift your right leg high to the sky. Begin to bend your right knee. Let your hips stack open. Reach your right knee high. Feel a good stretch through that inner thigh. And now as you exhale, let's hug our right knee all the way up towards your chest. Shift your shoulders over your wrists and begin to place your right foot down at the top of your mat. Lower your back knee. So it's okay if you need to pick your foot up and put it right at the top of your mat. That's totally fine. Just make sure your ankle is right underneath your knee. So as you inhale, interlace your hands. Place them at the top of your right thigh. Press down in towards your right thigh as your shoulders pull back and you press your hips forward. You should feel a nice stretch through that left psoas. There's a slight tuck of your tailbone. Sink in low. Nice job. Good, now let's inhale. Keep your hands interlaced and just let those palms reach up to the sky. Open through the chest, lift through the heart, deep breaths in. Now as you exhale, open your arms out, take them down to the mat. Shift your hips back. Begin to flex your right foot. You can start with your hands on your hips as you square your hips out. Flex your right foot, lengthen through that right leg. Begin to inhale, lift through your heart. And now as you exhale, you can take your hands on the opposite sides of your shin, tenting your hands like so. If you have a book or a block or something else that can bring the earth closer to you, you can put that down as well. Either way, you're leading through your heart towards your toes. And your exhale, you'll fold in just a little bit more. Always move to your degree through these poses. Take one more breath. Good, and exhale it out. Nice, now let's inhale, gently shift forward back into a low lunge. Tuck your back toes. And just send your right leg all the way back to the sky. Reach it up high. Bend your right knee. Let your hips stack open. And lower that right foot down to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Awesome job, guys. Let's move on to the other side. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Reach it up high, bend your left knee, stack your hips open, square those shoulders out. And then as you exhale, hug your left knee towards your chest, shift forward, shoulders over wrists, and begin to step that left foot all the way up to the top of your mat. Lower your right knee down. Again, if you need to pick that ankle up and put it at the top of your mat, that's totally fine. Let's interlace our fingers. Place the palms on the top of your left thigh. Press down and away so your shoulders lean back. Take a slight tuck of your tailbone, lift through your heart. Good, you should feel a nice stretch through the front of that right psoas. Beautiful job. Good. Let's take our arms to reach up towards the sky. Palms face up. Roll your shoulders back. Big breath in. Look up. Nice. Now let's exhale those hands down to the mat. Shift your hips back. Flex your left foot. So you can have your hands on your hips here and kind of just hinge forward so you feel a good stretch through that left hamstring. Your hips should be square towards the top of your mat as you flex your left foot. Inhale, lift through your heart. As you exhale, you might have your hands on blocks or on books or whatever you can find around the house to bring the earth closer to your hands. Or you have your fingers tented as you fold forward. Beautiful job. Let's take another full round of breath. Feel that deep stretch in your hamstring. Next, inhale. Begin to shift forward into your low lunge. Tuck your right toes. Send your left leg all the way up to the sky through three-legged dog. Bend your left knee, stack your hips open, reach that left knee high. And exhale, lower left foot down to meet the right. Nice job. Let's take a big breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Let it go. Good. Bend your knees. Look to the top of your mat. And just begin to step all the way up until your feet come between your wrists. Nice. Let's inhale, lengthen halfway up. Now as you exhale, bend your knees, take your feet together. Come up onto the balls of your feet, lift through your heels. You can stay right here with your hands down on the earth as you tuck your forehead towards your knees, and you'll feel a nice stretch through the back line of your body. If you want a balance challenge here, you can feel free to wrap one forearm around your shins and then the other and kind of give yourself a nice hug here. Good, nice job. Wherever you are, begin to move your hands behind you. Let your hips sit down to the earth. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Take your hands, interlace them around your feet. Roll your shoulders down and away. Really scoot into those hips so you're grounded down. Lift through your heart, deep breath in. And as you exhale, begin to hinge forward. Let your elbows press your knees away as your heart leads towards your toes. Use your breath here. So inhale deep into your belly. And exhale deeply out through the nose. Let it go. Good. One more like that. Big breath in. Lead through your heart towards your toes. And then exhale. Let your hips melt down. Maybe your elbows press your knees away. Nice job. Slowly come all the way up. Let your knees close together like a book. Take your heels close towards your hips. Reach your arms out long in front of you. So lift through your heart as if someone's pulling a gentle little string from your chest. Lift up through the chest, let your shoulders roll back. And slowly take your time, use your core as you come all the way down towards your mat. Let your heels come close towards your hips. Fingers will graze your heels. Keep your knees hips width distance. Slowly drive down into those heels as you lift your hips high. Shimmy your shoulders up underneath your back as you tuck your chin towards your chest. Ground through those heels, bridge pose. Keep your knees hips width distance. Feel a nice stretch through the front line of your body. Drive through those heels for one more big breath in. And then take your time, slowly lower your spine down towards the mat. Feel your low back ground down. And just windshield wipe your knees side to side. So you're just gently releasing your spine here. Good. So let's feel that low back down into the earth. Begin to take your knees towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Extend your left leg forward. Hug your right knee in. And then take that right knee and pull it to the outside of your right rib cage. So you should feel a nice stretch through the low back, massage through the stomach. Good. Now let's take that right knee all the way over to the left as you take your right arm out to the right and twist your spine. So it's important here to keep your shoulders down on the mat as you feel a gentle twist through the low back, a pull up and in through the belly. One more breath here. Good, now let's inhale back through center. Hug both knees up and in towards your chest. And let's switch sides. So just extend your right leg long, hug your left knee deep in towards your chest. Keep your shoulders and head down on the earth as you pull that left knee to the outer left rib cage. Deep breath in here, hug it in. And now as you exhale, take that left knee over to the right. Take your left arm to the left and gaze to the left. Keep your shoulders down on the earth. You should feel a nice decompression through your low back. deep breath into your belly, in and out through the nose and the nose only. Nice job. Let's come back through center. Hug those knees deep in towards our chest. Give yourself a gentle squeeze. Hug it all in. Good. One more big breath in. Squeeze your forehead towards your knees. And then as you exhale, let it all go. Let your toes drop out. Your palms face up. Close your eyes. In yoga, the last 5 to 10 minutes of class is Shavasana, where we lay, not controlling our breath, not worrying about our pose or the body or what we're doing, but just being. So you can feel free to stay in this posture as long as you want. But if you would like to move about with your day, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Begin to roll off onto one side or the other, or even just gently rock yourself up. Easy seated position, your own time, and in your own way. And when you are ready to come up into an easy seat, keep your eyes closed. Take your hands to heart center. So take a moment here to honor the light that dwells within each and every one of us. Namaste.